My son accidentally sent me a video, and it put me in serious danger before I realized. The evening begins the way many evenings do, without any sense that it will matter later. The house is quiet, not the kind of silence that feels lonely, but the kind that settles in after a long day. The parent moves from room to room at an unhurried pace, finishing small tasks that have been done 100 times before. A dish is rinsed and placed on the rack. A light is turned off in a room no one is using. A jacket is folded and set neatly on the back of a chair. These actions require no thought. They are part of a routine built over years, shaped by responsibility and habit. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss our latest uploads. Outside, the sky is already dark. A faint glow from the streetlight filters through the curtains, casting soft shadows on the walls. The television is on, but the sound is low. It is not really being watched. It is just there, filling the space with familiar noise. The parent glances at it now and then without focusing on the screen. The mind drifts instead, moving between memories and small worries that never fully leave. There is comfort in this predictability. Nothing feels urgent. Nothing feels wrong. The parent pauses near the window, looking out at the quiet street. Most of the neighbors' lights are off. A few cars pass by, their headlights sliding across the walls before disappearing. The world seems steady, unchanged. There is a sense that tomorrow will be much like today, and the day after that will follow the same pattern. For a moment, the parent feels grateful for that. After years of ups and downs, calm has become something to value. The phone rests on the table nearby. It has been there all evening, face down, silent. Messages come and go throughout the day, but at night they are less frequent. When the phone vibrates suddenly, the sound feels louder than it should. The parent turns toward it without any concern. The vibration is familiar. It usually means a short message, a quick update, or a casual check-in. The screen lights up with the son's name. That alone brings a small smile. Messages from the son are common. Sometimes they are practical, sometimes brief, sometimes filled with small moments from his own life. A photo of something he cooked. A quick video of a place he visited. A short clip meant to be funny. There has never been a reason to hesitate before opening anything he sends. The parent picks up the phone, still standing near the table. There is no rush, but no delay either. The assumption is simple. This is just another ordinary message. The parent taps the screen and opens the video without thinking twice. There is no sense of caution. There is no feeling that something needs to be checked first. Trust has been built over years, and trust does not question small things. At first, the video seems unclear. The image shakes slightly, as if recorded in a hurry. The lighting is dim, and the sound is uneven. The parent adjusts the phone, bringing it closer, trying to make sense of what is being shown. It does not look like one of the usual videos. There is no greeting, no explanation, no familiar background. The parent's brows knit together in mild confusion, but not alarm. The parent assumes the video will make sense in a moment. Maybe it starts in the middle. Maybe it is an accidental recording that will stop quickly. These things happen. The parent waits, watching, listening, expecting clarity to arrive. The mind remains calm, grounded in the belief that nothing serious comes from a simple message on an ordinary evening. As the video continues, small details begin to stand out. The background is unfamiliar. The angle is low, not the way the son usually records. There is movement, hurried and tense, unlike his usual relaxed style. The parent's body shifts slightly, attention sharpening without fully understanding why. The heart does not race yet, but the ease of the moment begins to fade. The parent tells themselves there must be a simple explanation. Perhaps the video was sent to the wrong person. Perhaps it is part of a longer clip that did not load correctly. There is no reason to assume anything else. Life has taught the parent that panic rarely helps, and most things turn out to be less serious than they first appear. Still, the parent does not look away. There is a quiet sense of responsibility that comes with being a parent, even when children are grown. It is a habit to pay attention, to notice small changes in tone, in behavior, in silence. That habit is now fully awake. The parent lowers themselves into a chair, holding the phone with both hands. The room feels slightly different now, though nothing has changed physically. The television noise fades into the background. The street outside might as well not exist. Everything narrows down to the small screen and the uneasy feeling that is beginning to take shape. There is a moment in the video that makes the parent inhale sharply. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is a brief detail that feels out of place, something that does not belong in a casual message. The parent watches it again, rewinding just a few seconds, checking to make sure it was seen correctly. The second viewing does not bring relief. If anything, it deepens the confusion. The parent's thoughts begin to shift. Questions surface, slow and careful at first. Why would this be sent? Why now? Why without any explanation? The parent checks the message details, half expecting to see a follow-up text or an apology. There is nothing else. Just the video. Just silence. A quiet unease settles in. It is not fear yet, but it is no longer calm. The parent has lived long enough to recognize this feeling. It is the sense that something has crossed an invisible line, that the evening is no longer ordinary, even if it looks the same on the surface. The parent looks around the room, almost as if grounding themselves in familiar surroundings. The furniture is the same. The photos on the shelf have not moved. The clock on the wall ticks steadily, marking time without concern. Everything appears normal, and yet the parent feels slightly disconnected from it all, as if watching from a distance. The phone vibrates again, but this time it is only a system notification. The parent almost laughs at their own tension, but the sound does not come out. Instead, there is a growing awareness that the video was not meant to be seen by them. Or if it was not meant to be understood this way. The parent considers calling the son right away. The thought appears quickly, then pauses. What if it was an accident? What if bringing attention to it causes embarrassment or trouble for him? The parent has always tried to respect boundaries, to avoid overreacting. Still, the feeling in the chest does not ease. The parent watches the video once more, slower this time, paying attention to every detail. The lighting, the sounds, the background. Nothing about it feels staged or intentional. It feels raw, unplanned. That is what makes it unsettling. The parent sets the phone down on the table, face up this time. The screen goes dark, reflecting the parent's own face faintly. The reflection looks older than expected, more serious. There is a realization forming, though it has not yet taken words. Whatever this video is, it is not harmless. The parent stands and walks to the kitchen, pouring a glass of water. The hands shake slightly, just enough to notice. This surprises the parent more than anything else. It takes a lot to cause that reaction. The parent takes a slow sip, then another, breathing steadily, trying to regain control of the moment. Memories surface uninvited. Times when instincts were ignored. Moments when signs were missed because it seemed easier to believe everything was fine. The parent has learned from those moments, even if the lessons came late. Now, standing alone in the kitchen, those lessons feel close. The parent returns to the table and picks up the phone again. The screen lights up. The video is still there, unchanged. The parent feels a strange mix of responsibility and vulnerability. Being a parent does not stop with age. Concern does not fade just because children grow up and live their own lives. The thought that keeps returning is simple and heavy. This video was not meant for comfort. It was not meant to entertain. It was sent by mistake, and that mistake has opened a door that cannot easily be closed. The parent looks at the clock. Only a short time has passed since the phone first buzzed, but it feels longer. The evening that began with routine and calm now carries a quiet tension that fills the space. The parent senses that sleep will not come easily tonight. Outside, a car door slams somewhere down the street. A dog barks briefly and then goes quiet. Life continues, unaware of the shift that has just occurred inside this one home. The parent remains seated, phone in hand, aware that this ordinary evening has ended. There is no clear understanding yet of what the video means or what it will lead to. There is only the certainty that something important has been revealed, something that cannot be unseen. The parent takes a deep breath, steadying themselves, knowing that the next steps will require clarity and strength. The phone rests heavily in the parent's hand, no longer just a device but a reminder. A reminder that life can change in small, unexpected ways. A reminder that even on the quietest evenings, truth can arrive without warning. As the parent sits there, the house around them still and unchanged, one thought becomes clear. This was not just a message. It was the beginning of something far more serious than it first appeared. And from this moment on, nothing will feel quite as ordinary again. The video starts playing again, and this time the parent watches more carefully. The screen fills with movement that feels rushed, as if the person holding the phone did not have time to frame anything properly. The image shifts from one angle to another. For a moment, there is only darkness, then a flash of light, then a blurred shape that might be a wall or a doorway. Nothing is clear yet. The sound comes first, uneven and raw, carrying voices that overlap and fade in and out. The parent leans forward slightly, elbows resting on their knees. The room around them feels distant now. The television is still on, but it no longer exists in their awareness. Every bit of attention is pulled into the small screen. At first, the parent tells themselves this could still be harmless. Maybe it is a pocket recording. Maybe it was sent without checking. These things happen. Still, the feeling in the chest tightens, refusing to be ignored. The video cuts to a different angle. The surroundings are unfamiliar. It does not look like the son's home, nor any place the parent recognizes. The walls are bare, the lighting harsh and uneven. The camera tilts suddenly, catching the edge of a table, then the floor. The movement is careless, unplanned. This is not something prepared to be shared. Voices rise in the background. They are not clear enough to understand fully, but their tone carries tension. There is urgency there, and something else the parent cannot immediately name. It is not laughter. It is not calm conversation. It is the sound of people speaking quickly, overlapping each other, as if time matters. The parent's fingers tighten around the phone. A quiet realization begins to form. This video was not meant to be sent. It was never meant to be watched by them, or perhaps by anyone else. It feels like a fragment of something private, something unfinished. For a brief second, the son appears on screen. It is not a clear shot. Just a partial view, his face passing by the camera as he moves. His expression is serious, focused, nothing like the relaxed look he usually has in videos meant for family. He does not look at the camera. He seems unaware it is recording at all. That moment alone is enough to change everything. The parent knows their child well. They recognize the difference between a casual moment and a guarded one. Whatever is happening here, the son did not intend for it to be shared casually. The parent feels a sharp pull of concern, deeper and heavier than before. The video continues. The sound shifts again. A door opens or closes somewhere nearby. There is a scrape of movement, footsteps, then silence that feels deliberate, as if someone is listening for something. The parent swallows, suddenly aware of how quiet their own house is in comparison. The parent's thumb hovers over the screen. There is a strong urge to pause the video, to stop watching. A part of them feels they are crossing a boundary by continuing. This is private. This is not meant for them. Parents learn, over time, to respect the lives their children build away from home. Watching this feels like intruding. But another feeling pushes back just as strongly. This is their child. The concern outweighs the discomfort. If something is wrong, if there is danger or trouble, turning away would feel like abandonment. The parent takes a slow breath and lets the video keep playing. The clips do not flow smoothly. They feel stitched together by accident. The camera shifts again, catching part of a window, then the edge of a couch. The lighting changes suddenly, brighter now, then dim again. Nothing feels stable. Everything feels rushed. The parent notices small details. A sound that repeats in the background. A phrase spoken by someone off-screen, cut off before it finishes. The tension in the air that never fully releases. These details build quietly, creating a picture that feels incomplete but troubling. The parent pauses the video. The screen freezes on a blurred image that does not explain anything. For a moment, the parent just stares at it. The house feels too still. The silence presses in. They lower the phone and rub their temples, trying to think clearly. Questions crowd in all at once. Why would this be recorded? Why would it be sent? Who else is there? The parent realizes they are holding their breath and forces themselves to exhale. The parent considers stopping here. Pretending they never saw this. Sending a simple message asking if the video was sent by mistake. That would be the polite, respectful choice. It would keep distance, preserve boundaries. But it would also leave too many unanswered questions. The phone feels heavier now, as if the weight of responsibility has settled into it. The parent presses play again. This time, the sound is clearer. A voice speaks close to the phone, though the words are still not fully understandable. The tone carries strain. There is no humor in it. No ease. The parent feels a subtle chill run through them. The son appears again, just for a moment, his back to the camera. He seems tense, shoulders tight, movements quick. The parent notices how different this version of him feels from the one they know through calls and messages. This is not a version he shares willingly. The parent's concern sharpens into something closer to fear, though they do not fully admit it yet. Fear feels too strong, too dramatic. Instead, they tell themselves it is simply awareness. Being alert. Being a parent. The video cuts abruptly, then resumes from a different moment. The transition is rough, as if the recording stopped and started without intention. This confirms what the parent already suspects. This is raw footage. Unfiltered. Unfinished. Not meant to be reviewed. The parent feels a strange mix of guilt and duty. Guilt for watching something private. Duty for staying present when something seems wrong. The line between the two feels thin and uncomfortable. Another voice rises in the background, sharper this time. The parent cannot make out the words, but the tone alone is enough to cause a tightening in the chest. There is pressure in that voice. Expectation. Perhaps even anger. The parent's mind races through possibilities, trying to make sense of fragments without jumping to conclusions. The parent pauses the video again. Their hand trembles slightly, and they notice it this time. This is no longer just curiosity. This is concern pushing against fear. They look around the room again, grounding themselves in what they know. The familiar furniture. The soft light. The quiet safety of their home. It feels almost unfair that this calm space exists while the video shows something so unsettled. The parent remembers moments from the past, times when they sensed something was off but chose not to press. Times when silence seemed easier. Those memories carry regret now, whispering warnings. Ignoring instincts rarely leads to peace. The phone buzzes softly with a notification, but it is nothing important. The parent barely notices. Their focus returns to the paused image on the screen. Whatever this is, it is not nothing. That much is clear. The parent presses play one more time. The video nears its end, though it does not feel like a conclusion. It simply stops, as if cut short. The final seconds show movement without context, sound without explanation. Then the screen goes dark. The parent stares at their reflection again, faintly visible on the black screen. The face looking back is serious, alert, no longer relaxed. There is a clear understanding now, even without full details. This video was never meant to reach them. It was sent by accident, and that accident has revealed something deeply personal and potentially dangerous. The parent sets the phone down slowly. Their heart beats louder now, more noticeable. The calm of the evening is gone completely, replaced by a quiet urgency. They know they cannot unsee what they have seen. Even without full clarity, the pieces point toward trouble. The parent feels the weight of choice pressing down. Do they confront the son? Do they wait? Do they investigate quietly? None of the options feel easy. One thing is certain. This was not just a random clip. It was a glimpse into something the son did not intend to share. And now that glimpse sits heavily in the parent's hands, demanding attention. The parent remains seated, phone resting on the table, mind racing but controlled. The curiosity that first pushed them to keep watching has transformed into something else entirely. Concern has taken root, and it will not be ignored. The evening that began quietly has now crossed another line. Not only is it no longer ordinary, it feels fragile, as if one wrong move could make things worse. The parent understands that what comes next will require care, patience, and courage. They take a deep breath, steadying themselves. The accidental video has ended, but its impact has only just begun. The parent watches again, this time with a sharper focus. What once felt like random noise now begins to form patterns. The voices in the background are still unclear, but certain words repeat. Phrases surface briefly, then vanish, as if the video is offering hints without full explanations. The parent leans closer, listening carefully, replaying short sections to be sure they heard correctly. There are references to places the parent does not recognize. Names of streets, perhaps, or buildings, spoken quickly and without context. The parent pauses the video and lets the words echo in their mind. These are not casual mentions. They sound planned, intentional, as if everyone involved already knows what they mean. The parent presses play again. A voice mentions a time, not a date, but a specific hour. Another voice responds with urgency, correcting it. The exchange is brief but firm. This is not small talk. This is coordination. The parent feels a slow shift inside. Confusion gives way to unease. The kind of unease that does not fade with reassurance. The kind that settles deeper the more one tries to explain it away. The parent has heard enough life conversations to recognize the difference between stress and secrecy. This feels like secrecy. The son appears again, this time only partially. His voice is heard more clearly now, though the words are still incomplete. He sounds controlled, careful, not frightened, but alert. The parent has never heard him sound like this before. It is not the tone he uses with family. It is the tone of someone choosing words carefully. The parent pauses the video once more. The room feels smaller, as if the walls have shifted inward. The air feels heavier. The parent stands and walks a few steps, needing movement to release the tension building in their body. Their mind races through possibilities, none of them comforting. They return to the chair and continue watching. The video moves forward, and another detail catches the parent's attention. Someone mentions keeping something quiet. The words are not clear, but the meaning is. Silence is expected. Discretion is required. Whatever is happening is not meant to be known. The parent's heart begins to beat faster. This is no longer just a private moment accidentally shared. This feels like a glimpse into something hidden. Something that carries risk. The parent remembers earlier years, when the son was younger and trouble was easier to spot. Back then, danger had clearer shapes. Scraped knees. Missed curfews. Arguments that ended with raised voices and slammed doors. This feels different. This feels like adult danger. The kind that does not announce itself loudly. The video cuts to another moment. The camera shakes as if moved quickly. A voice says something about being watched. Another responds sharply, dismissing the concern. The exchange is tense, clipped. The parent's stomach tightens. The parent replays that part twice, then a third time. The words are still not fully clear, but the implication remains. Awareness. Caution. Risk. The parent lowers the phone and stares at the floor. A thought surfaces that they do not want to accept. This video may be evidence. Not proof, not clarity, but evidence of something dangerous unfolding around the son. Whether he is directly involved or simply present, the danger feels real. Fear creeps in quietly. It does not arrive as panic. It arrives as a cold awareness. The kind that sharpens the senses and slows time. The parent notices the sound of the clock again. The faint hum of electricity in the room. Their own breathing. They pick up the phone with renewed urgency. The video continues, revealing more fragments. A reference to a meeting point. A warning about timing. A mention of someone who should not be there. The parent does not recognize the name, but the tone attached to it carries weight. The parent's hands feel clammy now. They wipe one hand against their leg without thinking. Their mind keeps asking the same question from different angles. How did the son get involved in this? Was he choosing this, or was he caught in it? The video shows the son again, this time longer. His face is still not fully visible, but his posture speaks clearly. He looks tense, shoulders tight, jaw set. He listens more than he speaks. When he does speak, it is brief and deliberate. The parent feels a surge of protective instinct, strong and immediate. It does not matter how old the son is. That instinct does not fade. It rises now, pushing aside hesitation. Another voice in the background mentions consequences. The word lands heavily, even without context. Consequences imply stakes. Stakes imply danger. The parent pauses the video again, heart pounding. Fear has replaced curiosity completely now. The earlier discomfort about crossing boundaries feels insignificant compared to this growing concern. Boundaries mean little if safety is at risk. The parent considers calling immediately, but stops themselves. If the video truly reveals something sensitive, calling without preparation could make things worse. The parent does not want to alert anyone else accidentally. They do not know who else might be involved. The weight of responsibility presses down hard now. Knowing something, even partially, changes everything. The parent feels alone with this knowledge, trapped between action and caution. The video resumes. Someone mentions leaving separately. Another voice agrees. The implication is clear. Avoid attention. Avoid patterns. The parent's fear sharpens. This is not normal. This is not harmless. This is planning. The video ends abruptly again, cutting off mid-sound. The silence that follows feels loud. The parent sits frozen for a moment, phone still in hand, staring at nothing. They feel the fear fully now, no longer able to soften it with logic. This is serious. This is dangerous. Even without full understanding, the signs point in one direction. The parent stands suddenly and begins pacing the room. Each step releases a small burst of nervous energy. Their thoughts scatter, then regroup. They think about safety, about distance, about how easily people can get pulled into situations they never intended to enter. The parent stops near the window again, looking out at the quiet street. Everything looks the same as before. The calm outside feels unreal now, almost mocking. Somewhere else, something is happening that does not belong to this piece. The parent returns to the table and sets the phone down carefully, as if it could break. Their reflection stares back from the dark screen, eyes wide, face tense. A realization settles in slowly but firmly. This video is not just disturbing. It may be a warning. A warning sent by accident, but a warning all the same. The parent feels fear, yes, but also resolve beginning to form beneath it. Fear alone cannot guide what comes next. Clear thinking is required. Careful steps. The parent knows they must act, but not recklessly. They sit down again, grounding themselves, breathing deeply until their heartbeat slows. Panic will not help the son. Calm might. The parent looks at the phone once more. This small device now holds something powerful. Something dangerous. Something that cannot be ignored. The discovery has changed the shape of the night. The parent understands now that whatever the sun is connected to, it carries risks beyond inconvenience or embarrassment. This is real. This matters. The fear does not fade, but it steadies. It becomes focused. The parent knows the next part of this story will require courage, restraint, and difficult choices. The video has revealed enough to shatter any remaining sense of safety. The parent knows one thing with certainty now. This is no longer just about an accidental message. It is about protecting a child from something that could change lives. The disturbing discovery sits heavily in the room, filling every quiet corner. The parent remains still, alert, and awake, knowing the night is far from over. The parent sits down again and opens the video from the beginning. This time, they do not watch it as a whole. They treat it like a puzzle, stopping and starting, rewinding short sections, listening closely to every sound and word. What once felt chaotic now begins to slow down. With fear already present, the mind sharpens. Details that were easy to miss before start to stand out. A voice mentions a day of the week. It passes quickly, almost casually, but the parent catches it. They pause the video and think. That day is not far away. In fact, it is uncomfortably close. The parent feels a tight pull in their chest but keeps watching. Another section mentions a time. Not vague, not general. A specific hour. The parent rewinds and listens again to be sure. The time is real. It fits into the coming days. This is not something from the past. Whatever this is, it is still unfolding. The parent's breathing becomes shallow as understanding grows. These are not random references. They are plans. The video continues, and the parent notices something else. In the background, just for a moment, a familiar sound appears. It could be traffic. It could be a train. The parent pauses and listens again. The rhythm feels known. Too known. They replay that section several times. A memory forms. A place nearby makes that exact sound at certain hours. The parent has heard it countless times without ever thinking twice. Now it feels different. The parent feels a slow chill spread through their body. This is no longer distant or abstract. This is not happening somewhere far away, somewhere unknown. It is close. Too close. The video moves on, and a landmark appears briefly through a window. Just a corner of it. Just enough to recognize if you know what to look for. The parent does. They freeze the frame and stare at it. Their heart pounds. That shape, that structure, that angle of light, it belongs to a place the parent passes regularly. A place within familiar streets. A place that suddenly feels unsafe. The parent's hands shake as they lower the phone slightly, then lift it again. They replay the moment, hoping they are wrong. Hoping fear is filling in gaps that do not exist. But the image does not change. The recognition remains. The danger is not theoretical anymore. It is real, and it is nearby. The parent feels the weight of this realization settle heavily on their shoulders. This is not just about the sun being involved in something troubling. It is about proximity. About timing. About risk that could spill into ordinary life without warning. They continue watching, now painfully aware of every second. Another voice mentions taking different routes. The parent catches that phrase instantly. They know those routes. They drive them. They walk them. These are not abstract directions. These are familiar paths. The parent's mind races, connecting pieces they wish would stay disconnected. The dates align. The places align. The urgency in the voices now makes sense. The sun appears again, more clearly this time. His face is tense, but there is something else now. Concern. Not just for himself, but for others. The parent sees it in the way he looks off-screen, in the way he listens before speaking. A painful realization forms. The sun did not send this video to share or to shock. He sent it by mistake. He was never meant to expose this. If anything, he may have been trying to protect someone by keeping it hidden. The parent feels a mix of fear and sorrow. Fear for what could happen. Sorrow that the son is carrying something this heavy alone. They pause the video and close their eyes briefly. Memories surface of times when the son tried to appear calm while hiding worry. Times when the parent sensed distance but respected silence. Now that silence feels dangerous. The parent opens their eyes and looks at the phone again. This small device has turned into a window into a reality they were not meant to see. But now that they have seen it, they cannot look away. They replay another section and catch a mention of keeping someone safe. The words are faint, but the meaning is clear enough. This is not reckless behavior. This is fear-driven behavior. The parent's heart aches. Whatever this situation is, the son did not step into it lightly. He is trying to manage something bigger than himself. Another detail clicks into place. A sound in the background that matches a location near home. A reference that fits too well with a recent local event the parent heard about but dismissed as distant news. Everything starts to connect. The parent sits back slowly, overwhelmed by the clarity forming in their mind. This is not a coincidence. This is not harmless. This is real, and it is close enough to affect them all. The fear now is sharp and focused. It is no longer just concern for the son. It is concern for safety. For timing. For what could happen if the wrong person learns the wrong thing. The parent realizes the son was not careless. He was careful. Too careful. That care is what made the accidental send so dangerous. They understand now that the video is more than evidence. It is exposure. It reveals plans, locations, movements. Information that was meant to stay contained. The parent feels the pressure of responsibility increase. Knowing this means they must act wisely. Reacting emotionally could put the son at greater risk. Staying silent could be just as dangerous. They think about how close this situation is to home. About familiar streets turning into places of concern. About normal routines becoming unpredictable. The parent looks around the house again. The safety they felt earlier now feels fragile. Everything looks the same, but everything feels different. They take a deep breath and steady themselves. Panic will not help. Fear must be managed, not allowed to control decisions. The parent knows now that the son did not just send the wrong video. He accidentally revealed something he was trying to contain. Something he was trying to shield others from. That knowledge settles heavily. The parent feels fear, yes, but also a growing determination. If the danger is close, then action must be careful and immediate. They set the phone down gently, as if it holds something fragile and dangerous at the same time. The dots have connected. The picture is clear enough now to understand the stakes. The night feels tense and alert, as if the world itself is holding its breath. The parent sits quietly, fully aware that the situation has moved beyond observation. The danger is no longer distant. It is real. It is nearby. And it has just entered their life. The parent reaches for the phone again, this time with a different kind of urgency. Watching is no longer enough. Knowing without action feels unbearable. The parent scrolls to the son's name and presses call, expecting the familiar ringing sound to bring some relief. It rings. Once. Twice. Then stops. No answer. The parent stares at the screen for a moment, waiting for it to light up again with a missed call notification or a quick message explaining the silence. Nothing appears. The phone remains still in their hand. They tell themselves it means nothing. The son could be busy. He could be in a place where answering is difficult. There are many harmless reasons for a missed call. The parent knows this, yet the reassurance does not settle the tension growing inside. They try again, this time sending a short message. Just a simple check-in. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that reveals concern. The parent watches the message send, then waits for the small sign that it has been read. The sign never appears. Minutes pass. Each one feels longer than the last. The parent checks the phone repeatedly, even though they know nothing has changed. The silence stretches, heavy and uncomfortable. The parent's thoughts begin to shift, moving away from calm explanations. The video returns to their mind, sharp and unsettling. The urgency in the voices. The plans. The closeness to home. Silence now feels dangerous. They try calling again. This time the call goes unanswered more quickly, as if the phone is turned off or set aside. The parent's chest tightens. They send another message, slightly longer but still careful, asking if everything is okay, asking to call back when possible. The words feel weak compared to the fear behind them. Again, no response. The parent stands and walks across the room, unable to sit still. Anxiety settles in fully now, no longer held back by logic. The mind begins to imagine possibilities it would rather avoid. What if the son does not know the video was sent? What if he is unaware that something private has been exposed? The thought makes the parent's stomach twist. If the son believes everything is still contained, then he may be acting without caution. Another thought follows, darker and harder to push away. What if the silence means something has already gone wrong? The parent stops pacing and leans against the wall, pressing a hand to their chest as if to steady their breathing. They force themselves to slow down. Jumping to conclusions will only increase panic. Still, fear does not listen easily. The phone remains quiet. The parent sits back down and looks at the screen again, reading over the sent messages. They wonder if the wording was wrong. Too casual. Not urgent enough. Or perhaps too cautious. They consider sending another message, something clearer, something that mentions the video. But hesitation stops them. If the video contains sensitive information, putting it into text could make things worse. Messages can be seen. Phones can be accessed. The parent does not know who else might be watching. The silence feels deliberate now, even if it is not. It feels like a barrier the parent cannot cross. Time moves slowly. The clock ticks loudly in the background, each sound marking another moment without response. The parent notices how often they glance at the door, as if expecting the son to appear unexpectedly. The thought feels unrealistic, yet comforting. The parent's anxiety deepens as another realization sets in. By watching the video, by understanding its meaning, they are no longer just a distant observer. They are involved. Knowledge changes roles. Knowing something dangerous, even by accident, pulls a person into its orbit. The parent feels that pull now, heavy and unavoidable. They think about what it means to be involved. About risk. About responsibility. About what could happen if someone realizes the video was seen by the wrong person. The parent checks the phone again. Still unread. Still unanswered. A quiet fear takes shape, sharper than before. If the son is trying to stay unreachable for safety, then contacting him repeatedly could be a mistake. But if something has happened, then silence could mean time is slipping away. The parent feels trapped between two fears, neither offering a clear path forward. They replay the video once more, not for new details, but for reassurance that the son looked alert, capable, alive. The images offer little comfort. Everything in the video felt tense, unresolved. The parent lowers the phone and rests their head in their hands. The weight of uncertainty presses down hard now. Not knowing is worse than knowing something bad. They imagine the son checking his phone later and seeing the missed calls and messages. Will he understand the urgency? Will he be angry? Relieved? Afraid? Another thought emerges, unwelcome but persistent. If the son sent the video accidentally, then others might have received things by mistake too. The parent does not know how contained this situation really is. The phone buzzes suddenly. The parent's heart jumps, and they grab it quickly. It is not the son. Disappointment washes over them, followed by a wave of frustration they did not expect. The parent exhales slowly, trying to regain composure. They realize their hands are shaking again. This is no longer just worry. This is fear fueled by silence. The parent thinks about how quickly life can shift. How one ordinary evening can turn into hours of waiting, imagining, and fearing outcomes that feel just beyond reach. They check the time and feel another surge of anxiety. More time has passed than they realized. The son should have seen the messages by now, unless he cannot. The parent's mind returns to the most unsettling thought of all. By seeing the video, they may have crossed into something they cannot step back from. Even if they do nothing, even if they say nothing, the knowledge remains. The silence from the son makes everything heavier. It turns concern into dread. It transforms unanswered questions into threats. The parent sits still, phone in hand, eyes fixed on the screen, waiting for any sign of life on the other end. Every second stretches painfully long. The house is quiet again, but it is no longer peaceful. It feels watchful, tense, as if the walls themselves are listening. The parent understands now that silence can be louder than any warning. And in that silence, fear grows unchecked. Whatever is happening, the parent knows one thing for certain. The night has taken a turn they cannot control, and the absence of the son's voice has made the danger feel closer than ever. The parent wakes early, not because of an alarm, but because sleep never truly came. The night passed in fragments, broken by restless thoughts and half-formed fears. When morning light enters the room, it does not bring relief. It only makes everything feel more exposed. The phone is the first thing the parent checks. Still nothing. No missed calls. No replies. The silence from the son has stretched into something heavier, something that presses against every thought. The parent moves through the house slowly, listening. Every sound feels sharper than usual. The hum of the refrigerator. The creak of the floor. The distant noise of traffic outside. None of it feels harmless anymore. When the parent looks out the front window, something feels off. A car is parked across the street, engine off, windows dark. It is not blocking anything. It is not doing anything wrong. And yet, it does not feel right. The parent tells themselves not to overthink it. Cars park on the street all the time. Neighbors have visitors. Delivery drivers stop briefly. There are many normal explanations. Still, the parent keeps watching. Minutes pass. The car does not move. The parent steps away from the window and tries to focus on routine again. Coffee is poured. A cup is held in both hands, warmth pressing against the palms. Normally, this moment would bring comfort. Today it does not. The phone rings suddenly. The sound is sharp in the quiet room. The parent answers quickly, heart racing. There is nothing on the line. Just silence. Then the call disconnects. The parent stares at the phone, pulse pounding. Wrong numbers happen. Spam calls happen. This should mean nothing. But coming after the video, after the silence, after the parked car, it feels different. Another call comes in less than an hour later. The parent answers again, trying to keep their voice steady. Silence. The call ends. The parent's fear sharpens. This no longer feels coincidental. These are small things, easily dismissed on their own. Together, they form a pattern. The parent returns to the window. The car is still there. A cold realization settles in. What if someone knows the video was seen? What if knowledge alone has made the parent visible? The parent steps back, heart pounding. They feel watched now, even if no one is visibly looking at them. The sense is instinctive, deep, impossible to ignore. They move through the house checking locks, not because anything has happened, but because fear demands action. The doors are secure. The windows closed. Everything is as it should be. Still, the unease does not fade. The parent's phone vibrates with a notification from an unknown number. Before they can open it, it disappears, as if withdrawn. The screen returns to normal, empty and quiet. The parent's hands shake as they set the phone down. This is no longer just about the son. This is about proximity. About attention. About risk. They think back to the video again. The caution in the voices. The concern about being watched. The effort to stay unnoticed. It all feels clearer now. The parent understands something crucial in this moment. They do not need to act to be in danger. They only need to know. Knowledge changes things. It shifts how others see you. It places you inside situations you never agreed to enter. The parent glances outside again. The car finally moves, pulling away slowly, disappearing down the street. Relief flickers briefly, but it does not last. The absence feels just as unsettling as the presence did. Another unfamiliar car passes by soon after, slowing slightly before continuing on. The parent's chest tightens. They pull the curtains halfway closed, then stop. Hiding feels like admission. Leaving them open feels like exposure. There is no comfortable choice. The parent sits down, trying to steady their breathing. Fear has shifted into urgency now. Waiting is no longer neutral. Doing nothing feels like a decision in itself. The parent realizes that whatever the son is involved in has reached closer than expected. Close enough to touch their daily life. Close enough to notice. The phone buzzes again. This time it is a voicemail notification. The parent opens it carefully. There is no message. Just background noise. A brief sound, then silence. The parent closes their eyes, heart racing. This is not random anymore. This feels deliberate. They understand now that the risk has become personal. The video was the beginning, but attention has followed. Someone is testing boundaries. Watching reactions. Measuring responses. The parent feels fear, yes, but also clarity. Panic will not protect them. Awareness might. They sit still, listening, watching, thinking. Every instinct is alert now. The ordinary world feels thin, fragile, as if danger could break through at any moment. The parent knows they cannot pretend this is coincidence any longer. What they saw has consequences. Even silence has consequences. Urgency replaces hesitation completely. The parent understands that the next step must be careful, deliberate, and soon. Time no longer feels like something they have plenty of. The quiet of the house feels tense and watchful. The parent remains still, fully aware that the risk is no longer distant or indirect. It has become personal. The parent does not rush. Panic feels close, but it is held back deliberately. Acting without thinking could draw attention. Attention feels dangerous now. So the parent slows everything down and chooses caution instead. They sit at the table and place the phone in front of them, treating it carefully, as if it could change things just by being handled the wrong way. The first step is simple but necessary. The parent saves the video securely, making sure it cannot disappear by accident. They check twice. Then they check again. Next, they begin to document what they remember. Not guesses. Not emotions. Only facts. Times mentioned. Words repeated. Sounds in the background. The unfamiliar car. The empty calls. The voicemail with nothing in it. Everything is written down quietly, neatly, without drama. The parent understands that memory can change under fear. Writing things down makes them real and stable. It also creates a sense of control, small but important. They store the notes somewhere private. Not on the phone. Somewhere safer. Somewhere less obvious. The house is quiet while they do this. No cars outside now. No calls. The stillness feels temporary, like the pause before weather changes. The parent checks the locks again, not nervously this time, but methodically. Curtains are adjusted just enough to reduce visibility without signaling fear. Lights are kept normal. Nothing looks unusual from the outside. This is not hiding. It is protecting. The phone remains silent for a long time. Long enough for the parent to question every choice they have made so far. Long enough for doubt to creep in. Maybe they imagined patterns. Maybe fear connected dots that were never meant to connect. Then the phone vibrates. The parent freezes for a second before picking it up. The message is from the son. It is short. Just a few words asking if everything is okay. Relief flashes briefly, but it does not last. The parent reads the message again, noticing what is missing. No explanation. No mention of the missed calls. No apology for the silence. The parent types slowly, choosing each word carefully. They mention the video without describing it. They ask if it was sent by mistake. The reply does not come immediately. When it does, it is different. Longer. Careful. The son confirms it was not meant to be sent. His words are controlled, but the urgency beneath them is impossible to miss. He asks what was seen. He asks where the parent is. He asks if anyone else could have accessed the phone. The parent feels a chill settle in. These are not the questions of someone embarrassed. They are the questions of someone afraid. The parent answers honestly but calmly. They say they watched it. They say they are safe. They say no one else has seen it. There is a pause before the son responds. When he does, the tone shifts completely. He does not explain details. He does not justify anything. Instead, he tells the parent to be careful. He tells them not to discuss the video with anyone. He tells them to trust him, even though he knows how that sounds. That is when the parent knows their fears were justified. The son would not speak this way if the situation were harmless. He would not sound this controlled if there were nothing at stake. The parent feels fear rise again, but it is steadier now. Sharper. More focused. They ask one simple question. Are they in danger? The reply takes longer than before. When it comes, it is honest enough to be frightening. The son says the situation is complicated. He says the parent did nothing wrong. He says seeing the video means they need to be careful now too. The words settle heavily. The risk is no longer one-sided. It has spread. The parent does not argue. They do not demand explanations. They understand that pushing for answers could make things worse. Instead, they respond with reassurance. They say they have taken precautions. They say they will follow instructions. They say they trust the son, even if they do not fully understand. The conversation ends quietly. No dramatic goodbye. Just silence returning. The parent sets the phone down and exhales slowly. Their hands are steady now. Fear remains, but it no longer controls them. They sit alone for a moment, absorbing what has changed. The video was never meant to be seen. The silence, the strange signs, the urgency in the son's messages all confirm it. This is real. And now it involves both of them. The parent looks around the house again. Everything appears normal. And yet, nothing feels the same. They understand now that safety will depend on patience, awareness, and restraint. Loud reactions could be dangerous. Quiet decisions might protect them. The parent remains seated, alert but calm, knowing that what happens next will require trust, timing, and careful judgment. The decision has been made. Panic has been set aside. Caution will guide every step from here on. The risk is real. But so is resolve. Time moves forward, even when fear lingers. The days that follow do not bring sudden chaos or clear answers. Instead, they bring something quieter. The unfamiliar cars stop appearing. The strange calls fade away. The house slowly begins to feel like a home again, not a place under watch. The parent notices these changes cautiously. Relief does not arrive all at once. It comes in small moments. A full night of sleep. A morning without checking the window first. An hour passing without the phone feeling heavy in the hand. The immediate danger, whatever its full shape may have been, seems to ease. Nothing dramatic marks its end. It simply loosens its grip and steps back into the shadows. But the impact does not disappear. The parent finds themselves thinking often about how easily everything changed. One ordinary evening. One accidental message. One decision to press play. It is unsettling to realize how thin the line can be between safety and exposure. Trust feels different now. Not broken, but altered. The parent understands that trust does not only mean believing in someone's intentions. It also means recognizing how fragile privacy can be, how quickly it can be lost. The parent and the son speak more carefully after that. Their conversations are calm, respectful, and measured. Some topics are avoided. Others are acknowledged without detail. Both understand the boundaries without needing to define them. There is no anger between them. Only a shared awareness. The son carries his own weight from the experience. He does not say much about it, but it shows in small ways. He double-checks things now. He pauses before sending messages. He chooses words with greater care. The ease he once had with technology has been replaced by caution. He knows now that mistakes do not stay contained. Even small ones can reach further than expected. Even accidents can pull others into situations they never chose. The parent reflects on their own role. They did not seek out danger. They did not chase secrets. And yet, they were changed by what they saw. Knowledge has a cost, even when it arrives without consent. There is a quiet sadness in that realization. Not regret, but understanding. The world holds more hidden layers than most people realize, and sometimes those layers surface without warning. The parent does not try to return to how things were before. That version of normal no longer exists. Instead, they build a new one, shaped by awareness and restraint. They are more observant now. More deliberate. Less willing to dismiss instincts. They also hold on to gratitude. Gratitude that nothing worse came of it. Gratitude that the son is safe. Gratitude that silence, in this case, became protection rather than loss. The experience leaves a mark, but not a scar. It becomes a lesson carried quietly, not shared openly, but remembered. The parent understands now that danger does not always announce itself. It does not always come with warnings or clear threats. Sometimes it arrives disguised as something ordinary, something familiar. A message, a video, a screen lighting up at the wrong moment. The parent looks at the phone one last time before setting it down for the night. It feels lighter now, but never insignificant. Life returns to routine, but the routine holds deeper meaning. Calm is no longer taken for granted. Safety is no longer assumed. Both parent and son move forward carrying the same truth, even if they rarely speak it aloud. Some moments change everything, not because they are dramatic, but because they reveal what was hidden. The story ends quietly, the way it began, but with clearer eyes and steadier choices. Sometimes danger doesn't arrive loudly, it slips into your life quietly, through a screen, when you least expect it.